Morning. First of all, just want to congratulate our team once again. Really proud of our guys. Back-to-back road wins. This has been a tough stretch, and but how they've played. Had obviously a clean game down there in Miami, and then a hard-fought game at NC State where we had a lot of momentum swings, and we're able to continue to turn it back and finish the game in strong fashion. So really proud of our team for the stretch we've had these last couple road games, but glad to be home. Really excited about being in front of our home crowd this week. Obviously, we all know, Clemson, Florida State's always a big game. And, for us, it's the biggest game because it's the next game. But some games always have a little extra juice to them, and this one has been a game that's been huge for both teams for many years. So look forward to competing against those guys. Florida State is same old. I mean, it's well coached, got fast dudes all over the place. They know what they're doing. They're defensively they very talented up front. They got some young guys they've recruited very well that have gotten better as the year has gone on. Outstanding in the secondary. They got some guys that can run, got great length. I mean, 6'2", 6'3" guys back there. So, again, same old challenge offensively, big, strong offensive line. Dalvin Cook, y'all know how I feel about him. He's an amazing player. He leads this league in all-purpose yards. He leads the league in scoring. Averages 8.2 yards a carry. So those are some freakish numbers. 148 yards a game. They do a great job of involving him in the passing game. They probably screen to the backs as good as anybody that you'll see. Number 9, Dalvin didn't play last week. Number 9, he's a different guy. He's 235 plus pounds, big, strong. Outstanding back, excellent receivers like they always have. Really, really good football players. So, 3 and 15 and 8, all those guys, and they got some really talented freshmen that they've mixed in there as well. They always do a good job with their tight ends. I know that Golson didn't play last week. They don't really do anything different. I mean, they run their offense, and both of those guys are very capable of running their offense. Obviously, McGuire beat us last year, and Golson has had a heck of a year for them this year. I mean, he's second in the league in passing. So, just a really good football team. Their kicker's been there for going on 8 years, I think, 2 terms. He's an amazing talent and has been a great weapon for them. Their punter's back. They got excellent skill in the return game. So, again, not really anything different. This is a team we play every year, know a lot about them. We recruit a lot of the same guys, and our guys know them. So we have great respect for Florida State. This is a team that has been the best in our league the last few years, and they've earned it and been a great representative. I mean, they've won the national championship and then played in the first college football playoff last year. If we want to have an opportunity to do that, you've got to win this game. You got to find a way to beat these guys, and it's been it's easier said than done. Haven't been many teams that's been able to do it. We've had our opportunities, and we'll have to find a way to finish if we're going to beat them. That's for sure. But look forward to getting after it 3:30 on Saturday. Any questions?
Just, I guess, almost to get it out of the way, the first college football playoff rankings come out tonight. Do you feel like you're in the top 4? Do you care?
I don't care. Not unless they're going to give me an exemption, like a pass. So, like in golf, and you win a tournament, then you just don't even have to play the rest of the match. You just show up for the Masters. You get to go to the Masters because you get an exemption. So, unless they're going to come out with an exemption, maybe that would be a great addition. They get the first poll comes out, and if you're in the top 4, you get you get 2 mulligans or something. I don't know. Unless they do something like that, no, I really don't care. It's just so irrelevant. I've said that many times. I mean, last year, 3 of the 4 teams in the first poll didn't play in the college football playoff. I think the first poll, Ohio State was 16th, maybe. won the national championship. The first poll, Georgia Tech wasn't ranked, finished 9th. The first poll, Notre Dame was top 10, finished unranked. So, like I said, unless they're going to change the rules or something, I know that they got to fill the air time, and it's great for college football, and you got to have something to talk about and create some drama and excitement and sell advertising, but it just has nothing to do with us. I mean, we're honored because what we're excited about is we've had a great season. That's what we're excited about. But the only poll we're excited about is December 6th. And I promise you, if we'll have the biggest poll party you've ever seen. We'll open up Death Valley and serve pizza to everybody and just have a poll party on December 6th. That'll be a time to celebrate a poll. But until then, it just doesn't matter because, man, you gotta earn your way there. You got to go win the games. You don't get any passes. So has nothing to do with where we are right now. Our focus is on trying to beat Florida State.
Was that the toughest loss you've ever experienced last year? Just the way?
Oh man, they're all tough. That was one of the toughest. 2010 was we led the entire game. I think the only time we trailed in the game was when the ball went through the uprights from about 82 yards with 2 seconds on the clock on that kick that kid made. I think that's the only time that we trailed. So, all losses are tough. They're all tough. At Auburn in 2010 in overtime. I could go on and on. Those things kind of stick out in your mind when you lose games. It's, the wins kind of pile up, and you enjoy all of them. But man, those losses they kind of stick out. But that was definitely a tough locker room. But again, that's life. I mean, that's just life. You have good days, you have bad days, and what we try to talk about, and that's what I think football teaches. It teaches you how to respond in life too, because you can mope around and pout about it, or we got plenty of people that do that, or you can do something about it, and you can respond. Life is about how you respond. It's not about what happens. It's about how you respond to what happens. That's really what it's about. And when you have success, how do you respond? When you have failure, disappointments, you make mistakes in life, how do you respond? And we went on to win 9 out of 10. And in fact, we've won 17 out of 18 since that time. So that to me is, I think, how you measure a person, what a person's made of. It's not what happens. It's not the success that they have. It's not the failure that they have. We're so quick to praise and judge, but to me, it's how you respond. And it was a tough time, but move on to the next one. That's why for us, it's always, no matter what happens, the season starts tomorrow. No matter what, win or lose, season starts tomorrow, and let's go stay focused on what we can control.
Dabo, can you talk about the maturation of Tony Elliott as a play caller?
He's done a great job, and it's not. Tony gets all the credit, but Jeff Scott calls a ton of plays. He called 2 touchdowns the other night. We get a lot of collaboration. Tony has to kind of manage it from up top, but it's not just Tony. We have a true co-coordinator situation here. Game planning, developing, and calls, how we put the calls together. The way we do things during the course of the game. So both of those guys have been tremendous. Done a great job.
You guys almost signed Dalvin Cook. What can you share about that recruiting process?
We didn't almost sign him. He just, dated us for a little while, kicked us to the curb. Really nothing else. Great player, great guy. I always liked Dalvin. Just we didn't get past first base with him. He came here, liked it, decided he wanted to come, and he changed his mind, and he's where he needs to be. We're the best place for him. That was the best fit for him when it all came down to it. And man, what a player! I have great respect for him as a player. I thought he was a phenomenal talent in high school, and hard to find any better. His diversity that he plays the game with is special. I mean, he's a great competitor too. That's the other thing I like about Dalvin is he don't back down. He's a competitor. I mean, he puts every ounce of everything he's got into how he plays the game. Tough guy. But as far as the recruiting process, we didn't get very far with him.
Talking about running backs a little bit, the second best running back in the league is Wingard Lett. What has allowed him to really separate from the others on this team? Coming into the year, it was kind of going to be, there was a bunch of different guys, but he has clearly taken that role. What has made him so special?
Well, he's just become a complete player. He's big, strong, physical, he's paid the price in the weight room. Not that the others haven't, but he's just been able to enhance his talents. He's learned how to play the position. It's been a little bit of a process for him as far as learning how to really be a running back. He was a linebacker and a wing back, in high school. So he had to transition, and now he's become a complete player. I mean, this guy is physical. As physical player as there is. I mean, he is just highly driven to be successful, to gain a yard. I mean, he just absolutely, that's one of the things that, why he fumbled the other night, in that situation. I mean, that's just who he is as far as how he fights for every inch on the football field. But he's just become a very smart player, understands, he works hard in his preparation, his film study, the little things, the fundamentals, the techniques, takes care of the ball. He's just the most complete guy we have. And, it's just played out that way.
You were asked about how tough the loss was last year. Have you ever had a loss where you can definitively look at the tape and say, those 3 plays, those 4 plays?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I can look at some wins, too, a bunch of them. I mean, anytime you have 2 good teams play each other, 2 really good teams that are pretty even, it's usually 3 or 4 plays. Sometimes you have some crazy situation go where a game gets away from you and all that type of stuff. Been a part of those too, but most of the time when it's 2 pretty evenly matched teams, it's just a few plays. It's just a few plays, and I've had some great wins that I've been a part of that same thing. We made 3 or 4 plays that were the difference. But certainly I've been a part of many tough losses in my career where you look back and you go, golly, but you can't change that. That's why we try to tell our guys, you got to play every play like it's the play. Like it's the play, because you just don't know. That's what Coach Stallings used to always, every game I ever played in or coached in with Coach Stallings, that would be the same message every week. All right, man, 5 or 6 plays going to make the difference in this game. And he'd say, play every play like it's the play, because you don't know when it's coming. And that's the reality of it. Unless you're just, dominant over a team. But when you got close matched teams, it's a few plays. I mean, I can count 6 plays from last year, and we're probably in the college football playoff. But you can't go back and do that. You don't get mulligans. Like my golf game, I just put another ball down and hit it again. But you don't get to do that in this game.
Point in particular after last year's game was that Clemson outplayed Florida State outside of those few plays. Do you hammer that point home this week when you reviewed the game?
No, I mean we've got to focus on this team, you go back and you look at that tape. There's a lot of those guys making that. There's we got a whole different offensive line. It was Deshaun's kind of his first game to really take it over. Leggett didn't play. I think Mike Williams might have had maybe 1 play. C.J. Davidson was our starting back at the time. Adam Choice. Gallman hadn't really emerged yet. We're a different team. We got to focus on this team. That was last year. That was that game. That one's dead and gone. We got to do what we do to give ourselves a chance to be successful this year.
Have you had a receiving core that can wear down secondaries as much as this one has with this depth?
Yeah, I mean we've had some really good guys come through here. I mean we got a bunch of them playing on the next level that were all here at once. Yeah, I mean we had Nuke and Sammy and Martavis and Sharon and Adam Humphreys. I mean, all here at one time. I mean, we got as much depth as we've had in the past. I don't see any different, than what we've had around here. We've had several years.
Sorry, Shaq Lawson said after the NC State win that he feels like they owe Florida State one for last year, that he felt like that you guys outplayed them. Can that sort of edge?
Well, we might have won on the field in a lot of ways, but we lost on the scoreboard, and that's all that matters. That's it. I don't get any brownie points for having more yards or whatever. We lost the game, period, where it matters, on the scoreboard. So we don't have any moral victories. What we need to do is just do the same things we do each and every week. Get a good plan together, have a great week of preparation, get dialed in on what we got to do to execute the plan and find a way to win the game.
You guys perhaps playing with that extra edge and excitement, especially knowing that one of your goals is on the line this weekend to win the division?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I mean, every game is huge for us. I mean, I know I say that every week, and it's like sometimes I think people have a mentality like we're just going to coast through these games, and it just doesn't work that way, guys. I mean, if you don't show up with that same type of juice, then you're going to get beat. I don't care what kind of team you have. Just look around college football. You better. Every game is the Super Bowl every week, every single week. But as you go through the season and you kind of climb that mountain up higher and higher and higher, margin for error gets smaller, air gets a little thinner. More questions like that. So that just comes with the territory. But I mean, I like to play every week. I mean, I love to play. And that's one thing I'll say about this team. They like to play. They don't care if it's a noon game or a hurricane or a night game, if there's a packed house or nobody there. They like to play. And that's what I like about this team. We don't have to play Florida State to get excited about playing a game. And what other thing I like about where we are is our fans don't either. We sell out Wofford, we sell out App State. So let's just get excited about playing. It doesn't matter who we play. And that's the focus. But am I pumped about being 8-0? Yeah, heck yeah. I'm glad we're 8-0 and not 4-4. But if we were 4-4, I'd be just as excited about playing this week. But this stakes aren't as high. Your goals are different if you're 4-4. Doesn't make it less of a game, but you still want to win, but your goals are different. Your opportunities are different. But as we come into what we call the championship phase of our journey, we break the year down into the journey, and November and December is our championship phase. Man, what a great opportunity we got, to have a chance to, compete for a championship first week of November. That's a great opportunity.
Now that you've had a chance to break down Saturday's film, you've got a practice under your belt. With the 2 missed extra points, the kickoff coverage issues, do you change anything? Is it personnel? Is it execution? Yeah, just execution. And I mean, we've done a really nice job outside of that one kick up at Louisville. We've done a heck of a job. Lacob's been tremendous. He's had a ton of touchbacks, but covering a kick isn't rocket science. It's really not, and it's 90% want to, and about 10% technique, really. And the big kick that they had the other night, the most disappointing thing is we had some really poor effort, and I can assure you we've addressed that. That was disappointing. It's one thing to get whipped. It's another thing when your effort. Nobody should ever question your effort as a competitor. I mean, they got full scholarships too. No, it's like nobody ever wants to give the other team any credit. I mean, they got good coaches. They got 85 scholarships. They got guys that can run. They can, it's not like nobody can ever block us. We make bad plays on defense. We make bad plays on offense. But you got to give them some credit too, and we certainly do that. But that particular play was very disappointing because we didn't play with the effort that we demand and expect. And Coach V and Coach Hobby were not happy about it, as neither was I, and it was something we addressed yesterday, and we'll get back to being who we are. The second one, that's coaching. That's on us. We didn't do a good job of preparing our guys, for the sky, them to pitch back, option the ball back. We kind of got sucked in, with the sky kick and give them credit. They made a nice play. That was a nice play on their part and poor job of coaching by us. So, but outside of that, we did a heck of a job. We did exactly what we're supposed to do. We got it correct. We got it corrected on the field. And, the next one we kicked right after that, we did it exactly it was exactly the way it's supposed to look. With the type of effort and intensity that it takes on that particular play. But, the extra point, we had penetration inside in our A gap, and that was fundamental and technique, so that's execution. And then the second one, Hugel he hit Crowder in the back. He just kicked it low, just made a bad play. So, that's football. You have to overcome those things. It's not always going to be perfect, where you never have a bad play or, all that type of stuff. We had a lot of bad plays in the Miami game. You just don't notice it because of the scoreboard. But we overcame it, and that's the biggest thing I'm proud of our team for.
Wire getting the start on Saturday for FSU, and then, of course, Golson listed as the starter for this Saturday. How do you prepare for their quarterbacks? Do you prepare for both?
They're not going to do anything different. They run their offense, so they're going to run the same concepts. They're going to have the same running game. They're going to run the zone power. They're going to run some option, boots, nakeds, as good a screen game as you're going to see. They're not going to do anything different. So we got to prepare for what they do. It was a little different getting ready for Louisville earlier in the year because very, very different. When they were trying to figure out who's quarterback, and we didn't really know, and the styles of play and how they called the game was going to be very different. So that was a little bit more of a challenge. But this, they're going to be who they are. They're Florida State, and they've recruited to their system for a while. It's not like they're one thing with this quarterback and they're another thing with this quarterback. They've got a Florida State offense, and they run it regardless.
Is your offensive production